Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Ask the Millionaire. I'm excited to see all of you today. It's a little bit of a cloudy day here in Philadelphia after we've had so much gorgeous weather, and I hope it's beautiful wherever you are and that you're able to take advantage of it. Get outside. I myself have been riding my bike every day since March 10th, except with the exception of 4 days that I haven't gotten out there. So it feels great to be able to get outside, and I think now that baseball season is back, it's exciting to have baseball because there's no summer without baseball, right? You need to have baseball. So let's get started here. The first person who's written to us is Abraham Marcos. Abraham tells us that people that are close to me have mentioned that I'm very impatient and I would like to work on it. I feel I put a lot of pressure on myself and others. I own an HVAC company. And his question is, how can I work on my patience level with myself and with employees? So that's really a discipline that you need to work on. And there's a couple ways that you can work on this. One is you can see a psychologist who could go and give you some tools to work with your patients and talk to you about how to go and step back and think about things, self-filter. Because I find myself, I'm impatient too. I like to get things done quickly, or I expect people to know something that they might not know. And I really have to go and put the brakes on in my own head before I do that. The other thing I do is I always ask employees to tell me directly if I'm being impatient. I think it's very important for you to engage your employees and entrust them and encourage them to go and tell you when you're off course or when you've run off the rails or that you're being difficult. Just tell them you're not going to get fired for telling me. I need to know so I can become a better leader. So let me know if I'm being impatient. Let me know if I'm not explaining things well. Just stop me. Even if I'm already in a rage about something, wait till I've calmed down and then tell me, hey, that didn't do anybody any good, you losing it. All it does is upset us. And I've seen that with other leaders where people get so upset that they can't function, and it's costing you money by the fact that you've lost your cool and can't have the discipline to go and calmly tell somebody or listen to someone. So the best thing to do is maybe see a psychologist to give you some of the tools that you'll need, but also ask your employees and promise them that you have nothing to worry about here. This is one of my shortcomings and I need to work on it, but I need your help. Employees will understand it and they'll go out of their way to make sure they help you. Helena Dreo gives us a business description of, this question is related to the creation of a pricing model for a design agency. I was planning to offer only a website designs at first. However, I realized that most people were interested in having me create titles, slogans, and content for them, such as photography, color schemes, and more. As opposed to just starting out with a web design, does it make sense to offer creative content and other services as other options? I intended to provide these services in the future, but people are already asking me for this. I was thinking about contracting other freelancers to take care of the jobs that I'm not very good at, such as videography and SEO. As for now, I'm creating my portfolio and I'm providing creative content with the website design in exchange for a video testimony. I want to charge money for this as it is time consuming. Your question is, this question is related to the creation of pricing model for design agency, and I was planning to offer just the website designs, and now I'm being asked to offer that much more. So, and the additional part of the question is, as a freelance web designer, what would you recommend I do for clients that ask me for creative design for their business or their project as well? Should I make recommendations to other people and freelancers, or should I build an agency and take on that work and hire the freelancers myself and provide the service to the client? First of all, I think you should only do what you do really well. And there's no reason that you can't pick up additional skill sets, but only offer what you do well and bring in other people that you have confidence in. Because what the client really wants at the end of the day is just to hand it off to you and you run with the ball. If you tell them you can only do the website design and all the other pieces, they're going to have to find somebody. They'll go to an agency that encompasses everything. So the best thing for you to do is tell your client, not a problem. We can do all of those things, and find really capable freelancers that can go and offer these services. People that you've already vetted, that you made sure that their work has quality, that they're people who get things done on time, that their clients are really happy with them. So all of those things, put that all together. Because if you just say, I just do the website, and they want that much more, not only are you leaving money on the table, but there's a good chance they'll just go with somebody else. So keep that in mind and start vetting quality freelancers. Marlena Carter. Marlena owns a pet grooming salon currently with 2 IC groomers that only pay a set daily rate for both rental. Her question is it better to have employees or independent contractors? What are ways for me to be sure I'm choosing the right worker type? So there's a couple things you need to know. You have to go to your particular state and find out what the laws are for independent contractors, like how many hours can they work for you before they are considered full-time employees, and you have to provide them with benefits and the taxes and all that type of thing. The second thing that you need to do is figure out how many hours would you use these people. And just like Uber and Lyft, they give them part-time work. Uber and Lyft have been having a lot of problems with different states who consider the people putting in so many hours are now considered full-time employees in some states. So you can limit the number of hours. And I think having a variety of teams available to you not only gives you more choices, but if somebody can't make it, you're not totally dependent on them. And from a tax standpoint, I think it's better for you to have independent contractors and be able to write those things off than having to be responsible for matching their taxes by having to provide them with health care benefits and all those things. If your business is booming and you've got so much business that you want to make sure you capture employees and you have them on your payroll so you have control over that, great. And maybe at some point you're going to get to that level. But in the beginning, in order to stretch your cash flow, the best thing that you can do is get a few teams of groomers that you are comfortable working with, teach them your methodology for doing this, and then over time, if in fact you get a lot of business, you can see if they want to come on full-time, or you can go and just keep them on a part-time basis as subcontractors. Sarah Hamilton asked, Sarah Hamilton's business is, I own a barbershop in Fayetteville, North Carolina. Currently have 2 locations and my goal is to open more locations. Her question is, what would you suggest is the best way to perform the necessary market research in the areas I'm interested in expanding into? Are them basic demographics such as average income, household size, would you think are most important when making this type of decision? Well, clearly you're going to need to know the demographics of the area, but you're also going to be looking at the neighborhoods that you're going to be in. So if you're in a strip center somewhere, you got to see what the clientele is. And you might also sit outside of barbers that you think you're going to compete against and see what kind of clientele that they get. You also might send somebody in to get a haircut and find out the pricing for each of the barbers that are in that particular area, so you get a sense of what people can charge. But also, if you're standing outside across the street in your car and you're staking it out, you can spend a day or two just making notes and counting how many customers that they get in. Or you can hire somebody to go and do that and spend the time and give you information about that, and that will give you a sense of what kind of customers you could serve that they're serving. It will also give you a sense of what the costs are. And it will also allow you to think about what's the best way to market my service? How would I differentiate myself from anybody else in that particular community? Jason Antonio. Jason's a sole proprietor building a aromatherapy brand, struggling with identifying a target customer on a limited budget. What are the ideas I can use, whether online or offline, to do target market research so I can figure out how to sell to that target market? Advice or resources on defining an ideal customer. So there's a few things that you can do that are relatively inexpensive. One is that you could do a survey on Facebook, because I think that's your clientele, or consumers. And you can put a survey out there asking people certain questions and driving them to SurveyMonkey and having them fill out that information. You can collect it. I believe Facebook also has the capability of doing a survey as well. But using your Facebook, using Twitter, and driving them to something like SurveyMonkey, because that's also kind of consumer driven. Instagram is another place that you can go and do that and drive people. And ask your friends to help you get the word out, leveraging your friends and acquaintances. And you might also, if you belong to a church, a synagogue, a mosque, you might also ask them and say, if I bring in so much business, I'll make a contribution to the temple as part of helping me. At the end of the day, all these organizations would love to see more successful entrepreneurs, and you would be able to be a supporter of those organizations, both financially and with your time. So the least expensive way to go is sending out surveys using SurveyMonkey and leveraging all your contacts on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and asking your friends to help you. Jason Phillips is our last question. Jason says, we have an HVAC business, and right now it's just the two of us, and we want to grow. I'm responsible for lead generation and getting us more business, and we are both do the work ourselves. But I know we can't grow it with just the two of us. How do we develop the mindset of what things we absolutely need to invest in so we can grow? And I need to get on board with ideas. Thanks. He also, in his question, how do I strengthen the relationship with my business partner, who's his brother, who is a majority shareholder, and I'm trying to get him and I to do work more closely aligned for the betterment of the company? How do we assign roles and develop a plan that we both know and vision where we're going to go? So I love the idea of a written plan, and I think you have to talk to your brother about asking him how big would he like to grow the business. My father had wanted me to join his business. He had a medical equipment rental business when I had graduated college. And my father said, why don't you join me in this business? So I said, Dad, if I join you, what I would like to do is increase the size of the number of stores we have. We only had one, and go into other communities. And my father goes, that's too much aggravation. I don't want to make that kind of investment. I just want to keep it small and have it in our hometown. Well, that's not what I was interested in. I was interested in scaling up. So you have to talk to your brother and ask him if he's willing to scale up. Also, if he's the majority owner, you don't have a lot of control over that unless you have a document that gives you a certain amount of control, even though he's the majority owner. So you might talk to your brother and say, look, if you don't want to expand this business and grow it to more than two of us, then maybe I should go out on my own, and I should take some of the clients with me, and I'll do my thing. Because if you're just happy handling a certain number of clients, great. I could even send you clients when I have too many, but I really want to go and build something bigger. And the only way that you can go and build bigger is this: when you start to get overwhelmed by the number of clients that you get, what you do is start putting away money in your bank account. So if you were taking $100,000 a year out every year to live on, maybe now you're going to take $75,000, take that $25,000, and add somebody new. So now there's twice as many of you. And maybe if you get up to $200,000 in business, you take another $25,000, which would be enough money to go and cover somebody's salary for a quarter as you start to scale up, so you can start adding more and more customers. The only way that you can really scale up is you bring in a lot of business, you put some money to the side, you go and screen and get quality people, and then you add them on and you keep marketing out there. You let all these houses know that you are available, or if you're handling businesses, you let the businesses know that you are available to go and handle their HVAC. And the more of them that you get, the more of them that can make introductions to other friends, other homeowners, other businesses, and you keep expanding that way. Because nobody's really going to go and look at ads per se. That's more of a word of mouth business, with the exception that somebody has a problem, they've moved locally, and they don't know anybody. So then somebody's going to go on the internet. So you're definitely going to have a website. But nobody looks at the yellow pages anymore. I mean, we still get that book, but nobody really looks at it. So you having a website with endorsements from your existing clients, and as you add people, you keep changing the picture on it to keep showing how big your team is, so people have more confidence in you and want to do more business with you. Well, I wish you the best of luck. I hope all goes well for you, and I look forward to seeing you all in a couple of weeks. Have a great rest of your day. Take care and enjoy the beautiful weather wherever you are.